Sometimes it's nice to be able to create copy and create a visual as you are making your presentation and doing that on the fly. And some webinar programs have some built-in annotation tools, things that you can use to illustrate your points, but you don't really need to do that. That isn't necessary. What I have here is just a plain screen for my Paint. It's just a free software that I have on my PC. It came included. Macs have the same thing. I've seen some wonderful webinar presenters use this kind of tool, this very tool to create visuals. I've seen one gentleman who talks about, creating a squeeze page, and he will, just create the graphics to show, with a web page, perhaps where the headline would appear. Talk about a placement of a video on the page, perhaps, make that a little bit, color that in a little bit. Talk about where to put the opt-in box. That's just a general idea, and then make notes on the side about the topic, and maybe arrows and all kinds of things that will show how to move from one thing to another. Some of the things that people might want to do. So Paint becomes a really interesting thing to do. To work with. What I would suggest is that if you're going to use it as a whiteboard, work with it first, get an idea about the kind of thing you're going to be doing. If you're not using it all the time in a presentation sense, believe me, when you get in front of an audience, it doesn't work exactly the same way, and it doesn't have the same kind of feeling that it does when you're just sitting at your computer alone doing something for yourself. So definitely, take a little bit of practice session and make sure that works for you. Sometimes the best tools that we have are right under our nose, and there's no reason that you have to go out and do something terribly fancy if you want to put together a collaborative document with the people in your webinar. You don't have to look further than Word, to be honest with you. So don't worry about having something really fancy, some really amazing annotation tool, because you've got Word. You can create a list, you can create a collaborative document with feedback from your audience. If you're going to use that and do that, and you want to use Word, I will give you a little tip here. It's nice to use a larger typeface, so goose that up a little bit. But you may have people on your webinar who are sharing thoughts and helping you put together a list about something. And as you do that, and as you gather those thoughts from people in the chat, or perhaps you have them unmuted and you don't have too many people, so you can talk to them and have an interactive discussion, you can create a list. You can create all kinds of thoughts and come up with a collaborative document. Then you can save the document, you can share it with the people who are present on the webinar, and voila, you have it. So don't worry about things being perfect or real advanced. You just use what you have, and just use what you have in a virtual working environment, and you've got everything you need right there.